Silence has become a luxury in the fast-paced and noisy modern world. We often find ourselves caught up in endless conversations where speaking out is the only weapon to assert our presence and personal strength. However, have you ever wondered if, amidst this chaos, the real power lies in quiet moments? Stoicism, a philosophical school of thought that has stood the test of time, encourages us to explore our inner strength through silence. Silence in Stoicism is not merely a tool to avoid trouble or conceal thoughts. It is the key to unlocking inner peace and unshakable mental strength. Whether confronting anger or responding to injustice, every situation can be managed by employing silence as a wise strategy. So, what makes silence so valuable and powerful? Why does something seemingly simple have the potential to bring about profound change in our lives? Let's journey to discover the hidden power of silence through the lens of Stoic philosophy and learn how to apply it to overcome life's challenges. Are you ready to explore the true power of silence? Let's begin this journey together. Lesson 1. How to deal with anger. Everyone has moments when anger flares up, threatening to disrupt our peace and cloud our judgment. From minor conflicts with colleagues to frustrations in personal relationships and internal struggles when facing failures, anger is always lurking, ready to engulf us in dissatisfaction. But instead of letting it control us, Stoicism suggests a different approach, using silence as a powerful tool to tame and transform anger. Rather than reacting immediately and letting anger dictate our actions, Stoicism encourages us to pause and calmly acknowledge our emotions. This doesn't mean denying or hiding our anger, but recognizing and accepting it as a natural part of being human. A prime example is the story of Seneca, a Stoic philosopher and a friend once betrayed. Instead of allowing anger to take over, Seneca reflected, realizing that anger would harm him more than the person who hurt him. In this way, he turned a negative emotional situation into an opportunity to practice compassion and understanding. When facing anger, the first step is to identify it. Ask yourself, what exactly is making you angry? Is it helplessness in an unchangeable situation or frustration with unmet expectations? Understanding the root of your anger helps you view the situation more objectively, allowing you to apply Stoic logic to control and calm your anger. Remember, anger doesn't solve problems. It often makes them worse. By keeping silent and reflecting before acting, you avoid impulsive words or actions and transform your anger into a positive force for self-improvement and better relationships with others. For instance, if you're angry due to a misunderstanding with a colleague, instead of reacting immediately, pause, take a deep breath, and think about how to resolve the issue calmly and effectively. This way, silence becomes an invisible strength that helps you control your anger and build stronger working relationships. Stoicism teaches us to restrain anger and encourages us to use it as an opportunity for growth and self-understanding. When we confront anger with silence and reason, we find inner peace and open the door to profound personal development. Lesson 2. Dealing with rumors. In modern society, rumors are an inevitable part of life. They spread quickly, often without verification, and can leave a trail of negativity, affecting the reputation and spirit of the person targeted. When faced with rumors, our natural reaction may be to defend ourselves or refute the false information immediately. However, Stoicism advocates a different approach: silence. Silence in this context is not a sign of helplessness, but a wise strategy to maintain self-respect and control over our emotions. By remaining silent in the face of rumors, you prevent negative information from distracting or unsettling you. A typical example is when an employee hears a rumor that they were promoted not because of their abilities, but due to favoritism. Instead of getting angry or panicking, they might approach the situation silently, allowing time and reality to prove their true worth. Remaining silent in the face of rumors doesn't mean passively accepting everything. Instead, it reflects confidence and the ability to control the situation. When you don't react immediately, you create space for yourself to think and assess the situation more wisely. This helps you avoid impulsive actions that could make matters worse. Furthermore, silence is a way to protect your dignity and honor. Not letting rumors disturb your peace of mind shows that your value does not depend on what others think or say about you. By keeping silent, you send a message that you are confident and do not need to stoop to deal with inaccurate information. Ultimately, Stoicism teaches that silence is one of the most powerful tools for facing mental and emotional challenges. Silence helps you maintain self-control and protect inner peace in the context of rumors. Instead of getting caught up in the whirlwind of false information, choose silence and let time reveal the truth. Lesson 3. Navigating the storm of insults. No one can avoid harsh words or hurtful remarks, whether intentional or accidental. In such moments, many people's first reaction is to retaliate, sometimes with anger or hurt feelings. However, Stoicism teaches us that true strength lies not in reacting but in remaining silent and controlling our emotions. A Stoic understands that insults are merely another person's opinion, and that our value is not determined by what others say. A prime example is Cato, a well-known Stoic philosopher and politician. Despite being frequently mocked for his ethical principles, Cato never let these insults shake his spirit. He didn't respond with anger or frustration. Instead, he maintained his silence, held firm to his beliefs, and continued living according to his cherished values. Remaining silent in such situations is not a sign of weakness or avoidance, but an expression of inner strength. By not allowing yourself to be drawn into the whirlwind of negative emotions, you maintain calmness and clarity, enabling you to make more thoughtful decisions. Silence also allows you to see the situation comprehensively, recognizing that sometimes insults do not truly reflect who we are, but rather the issues of the person delivering them. Additionally, silence is a way to avoid escalating tension. Rather than responding with words that could hurt others and yourself, silence helps maintain a harmonious atmosphere and lays the groundwork for constructive dialogue if necessary. In many cases, silence is the best way to resolve conflict effectively and prevent situations from worsening. In the end, Stoicism teaches us that controlling our emotions and choosing the right way to respond to insults helps protect our inner peace and demonstrates maturity and patience. By keeping silent, we respect ourselves and others while affirming the power of self-control and wisdom in any situation. Lesson 4. When facing injustice, life can be unfair. Despite our best efforts, the outcomes we receive sometimes make us feel betrayed by the very values we uphold. In these moments, the wave of injustice can sweep us into a whirlpool of anger and disappointment. However, Stoicism offers a different approach, a path to facing injustice without allowing it to disturb our inner peace. Instead of reacting negatively, a Stoic chooses to remain silent and reflect deeply. They understand that silence is not always about surrender, but a conscious choice to maintain control and calm. Imagine you are a diligent employee who always delivers good work. But one day, you find out that a less experienced colleague has been promoted instead of you. This injustice might make you feel undervalued, but instead of letting anger take over, stop and reflect. This is when you need the power of silence. Silence gives you the time to reassess the situation objectively. Perhaps the promotion wasn't due to your lack of ability, but rather factors you haven't considered. Stoicism advises us not to let injustice cloud our judgment. Instead of reacting immediately, step back, stay calm, and focus on improving yourself. Maybe it's time to learn new skills or seek growth opportunities elsewhere. Stoics also understand that while we cannot always change our circumstances, we can always control our response. By remaining silent, you avoid impulsive reactions and protect your inner peace, which is invaluable in difficult situations. As a Stoic emperor and philosopher, Marcus Aurelius once said, "The best answer to anger is silence." Silence does not mean giving up or enduring passively. It means standing firm, ensuring that injustice does not alter your core values. In silence, you find the space to reflect, better understand yourself and the world around you, and make wiser, more informed decisions. Silence in the face of injustice is not just a defensive strategy. It's an opportunity to discover your inner strength. It's how you maintain resilience and continue moving forward despite the challenges and injustices that life may present. Lesson 5. When unfairly criticized. Criticism is an inevitable part of life, and sometimes the criticism we receive is entirely unjust. When faced with unfair criticism, many people first resort to arguing or defending themselves. However, according to Stoicism, keeping silent and reflecting might be a wiser choice instead of responding immediately. Silence in this situation is not a sign of weakness or acceptance of injustice, but a way to control emotions and think things through carefully. When someone unfairly criticizes you, a Stoic doesn't rush to respond. Instead, they choose to remain silent, listen, and consider the criticism from an objective perspective. For example, suppose your boss harshly criticizes you for a mistake that wasn't your fault rather than getting angry or trying to justify yourself right away. In that case, you might step back, keep silent, and carefully evaluate the situation. Silence allows you to assess whether there's any truth in the criticism. If there is, you can improve yourself without needing to confront it directly. If the criticism is unfounded, silence helps avoid getting drawn into a pointless argument. Furthermore, by keeping silent, you demonstrate self-control and patience, two qualities Stoics hold in high regard. Stoicism also reminds us that our value is not external recognition but self-awareness and self-respect. When faced with unfair criticism, silence shows that you are confident enough not to be swayed by negative opinions from others. You don't need to prove yourself to those who don't understand or don't want to understand you. In this context, silence is not just a response. It's a manifestation of mental strength. It allows you to maintain your stance without being drawn into negative emotions. By choosing silence, you can protect your inner peace while showing that you are not easily influenced by unfair criticism. Silence becomes a tool to maintain steadfastness and prevent unreasonable criticism from undermining your confidence and self-worth. Lesson 6. Navigating the seas of ignorance. Life is a journey of uncertainty, frequently facing unknown and unexpected challenges. Ignorance can make us feel lost and insecure, but Stoicism views it as a natural part of life, an opportunity to practice patience and self-control. A Stoic understands that we cannot know and control everything. Instead of panicking or worrying about uncertainty, they accept it and focus on what can be controlled. Imagine facing an important decision at work, but your information needs to be completed, and the situation is complex. In such a scenario, instead of forcing yourself to find all the answers immediately, you might remain silent, listen, and observe. Silence in this situation is not a sign of helplessness, but a way to create space for reflection and self-examination. It allows you to calm down and thoroughly consider all aspects of the problem. For example, when a leader is confronted with a crisis but lacks sufficient information, they might keep silent rather than make hasty decisions and wait until they have all the necessary data to make an informed decision. This approach not only safeguards their reputation, but also ensures the organization's long-term success. Silence also helps us accept that there are things we cannot know or control. Instead of trying to control every aspect of life, Stoicism encourages us to let go of things beyond our reach and focus on how we respond to challenges. Silence becomes a powerful tool to keep us grounded during difficult times while opening up opportunities for learning and growth. Ultimately, silence in uncertainty signifies a mature and resilient soul. It helps us remain calm, focus on core values, and not be swayed by external factors. Stoicism teaches that in silence, we can find the clarity and strength to overcome any challenge, no matter how vast and stormy the sea may be. Lesson 7. Facing boastfulness. In a world where self-promotion and boasting seem the norm, remaining silent can be a significant challenge. However, Stoicism views silence as a sign of inner strength and self-control, especially when confronted with praise or someone else's boastfulness. There are countless moments when someone tries to boast about their achievements or waits for others to praise them. A Stoic chooses not to engage in this race for recognition in such situations. They understand that a person's value is not in accolades or external validation, but in self-awareness and inner peace. Take, for example, someone who has been promoted at work and receives numerous compliments from colleagues. Instead of responding with pride or bragging about their success, a Stoic would remain silent and humbly continue their work. They don't allow praise to distract them from their long-term goals and core values. Silence here isn't a lack of confidence. It's a demonstration of self-mastery and a deep understanding that true success doesn't need to be flaunted. Moreover, remaining silent despite someone else's boastfulness shows patience and understanding. Instead of feeling threatened or envious, a Stoic sees boasting as a reflection of someone else's need for recognition, a need they don't feel compelled to satisfy. Silence in these situations helps to maintain inner peace and avoid being drawn into negative emotions. Finally, remaining silent when faced with boasting is also a way to affirm that actual value doesn't require external validation. In a society where boasting and self-promotion are often celebrated, remaining silent and continuing on your path with humility and determination is a sign of a strong inner character. Stoicism teaches that by choosing silence, we can focus on what truly matters and maintain our spiritual freedom in the face of the temptations of vanity and pride. Lesson 8. Coping with loss. Loss is an inevitable part of life. Whether it's losing a loved one, a job to which we have devoted ourselves, or even losing dreams and expectations, these experiences can leave us feeling pain and disoriented. However, Stoicism teaches us that how we face loss will determine how we overcome it. Rather than fighting or ignoring the pain, Stoicism encourages us to accept that everything is temporary. This doesn't mean becoming emotionless or cold, but accepting that life is constantly changing, and loss is part of that journey. A practical example is when someone loses a job they've held for many years. Instead of drowning in anger or despair, they might use silence to reflect, accept reality, and seek new opportunities. Silence in moments of pain is not about avoidance, but creating space for healing and recovery. When we remain silent, we fully experience the pain without getting caught up in negative emotions like anger or resentment. This helps us maintain calmness and clarity, making it easier to find a way forward. Additionally, silence helps us connect more deeply with ourselves and our core values. When facing loss, silence gives us the time and space to reflect on what truly matters in life, leading to wiser decisions for the future. For example, after losing a meaningful relationship, instead of rushing into a new one to fill the void. A Stoic might remain silent, taking time to understand better themselves and what they truly want. Finally, Stoicism reminds us that silence in the face of loss is a way to protect inner peace and maintain balance in life. Rather than letting loss hurt and drag us down, we can use silence to overcome the pain, heal, and find peace within. In that silence, we find comfort and the strength to continue our journey stronger and more resilient. Lesson 9. The art of silence in the face of false rumors. In today's information-saturated world, rumors and false accusations can spread like wildfire. These rumors damage reputations and disrupt the mind, leaving the targeted individual feeling distressed and powerless. However, Stoicism reminds us that in such situations, true power does not lie in immediately responding but in silence. In the face of false rumors, silence is not an acceptance or agreement with them, but a deliberate choice to protect your inner peace. When you encounter baseless rumors, rather than reacting immediately or trying to defend yourself against every word, stop and choose silence. A clear example is when someone is rumored to have achieved success not through merit but through favoritism. Instead of arguing or trying to explain, a Stoic continues their work with focus and commitment. They know that time and their actions will best respond to unfounded rumors. Silence helps you avoid unnecessary confrontations and keeps your mind calm and clear. In silence, you can reflect on the nature of the rumor and realize that such falsehoods often stem from misunderstanding or envy. By remaining silent, you refuse to give the rumor power over your emotions and actions. Furthermore, silence is a way to maintain confidence and self-respect. When you don't need to respond to every rumor, you demonstrate that your value doesn't depend on what others think or say about you. Instead, you focus on what you know to be accurate and continue your journey without being distracted by harmful external factors. Ultimately, Stoicism teaches that in silence, we find the strength to maintain inner peace in the face of life's challenges. When confronted with false rumors, silence protects us from harm and affirms our strength and confidence. Let silence be your shield in a world entirely of gossip, helping you move forward with determination and self-respect. Lesson 10. Embracing silence in times of uncertainty. Modern life is full of unpredictable and uncertain situations, from major decisions at work to unexpected personal events. When faced with this ambiguity, many people's natural reaction is to seek answers immediately or act hastily to ease their anxiety. However, Stoicism encourages a different approach: silence and accepting uncertainty as a natural part of life. Silence becomes a valuable ally when everything seems uncertain and without clear answers. Silence helps us pause, calm our minds, and observe the situation from multiple perspectives before making decisions. For example, when you face an important decision but lack sufficient information to make the right choice, instead of acting immediately, remain silent and reflect. This not only helps you avoid mistakes, but also allows you to take the time to gather more information and thoroughly assess the situation. Silence in times of uncertainty also demonstrates patience and calmness. It allows us to accept that only some things have a clear answer right away, which is part of the growth process. Stoicism teaches us that worrying about things beyond our control only increases stress and clouds our judgment. Instead, silence helps us focus on what we can control: our emotions, reactions, and actions within our capacity. A prime example is when a company faces a financial crisis and has to make tough decisions. Instead of rushing into cost-cutting measures or changing strategies immediately, the leadership might remain silent, taking the time to analyze the situation thoroughly, seek expert advice, and make the necessary decisions. The silence here is a sign of careful consideration and respect for the decision-making process, ensuring that every action is based on understanding and thorough deliberation. Finally, Stoicism reminds us that silence in times of uncertainty is a powerful tool for protecting inner peace and maintaining clarity. It allows us to face ambiguity without being swept away by negative emotions, creating space for deeper reflection and responsible action. In a world of turmoil, silence becomes the foundation that helps us maintain steadfastness and confidence to overcome any challenge. Conclusion. In the light of Stoic philosophy, silence is not just the absence of sound but a hidden source of strength, a powerful tool for maintaining inner peace and building resilience in life. Through each lesson, from dealing with anger, injustice, and insults to handling false rumors or embracing uncertainty, we have seen that silence is not a sign of weakness but an expression of self-control, wisdom, and courage. In difficult situations, where emotions can easily overwhelm reason, choosing silence allows us to stay composed and view things more objectively. Silence helps us avoid impulsive actions, protect our dignity and self-respect, and create space for reflection, growth, and development. Stoicism has shown us that silence is not about giving up, but about consciously choosing to control our lives in the best way possible. It's a way of living that teaches us to focus on what we can control, let go of what is beyond our reach, and thus find true peace and happiness. So, apply these lessons in your daily life. Practice silence when facing challenges, when you need time to reflect, or when words could cause more trouble. Let silence be your ally in finding inner peace and spiritual freedom. This action will not only help you live a more balanced and meaningful life, but also serve as a way to demonstrate maturity and self-control in all circumstances.